Hello and welcome back to the aowhodis podcast. I'm Owen. I'm joined by my co-host Alexander.
What's up?
Today it's number 15 now?
Yeah, bro.
We are clearly at a different location, as you can clearly tell by the Hug Me Bear, and he has a hat and a gun. Like, I didn't see that before.
It's not loaded, bro.
What happened?
It's not loaded.
Yes, yeah, that's what they all say. But as you can
blank,
tell,
I
it's
swear.
clearly a completely different location. I mean, we're on the other side of the world right now. But yeah, so starting us off with this, I've been thinking about this, honestly, a lot recently. I'll say the question, then I'll explain it. So does self-individualism make us more selfish or more free? And
What do you mean?
what I mean is self-individualism, at least, what I think, when I think of self-individualism, and especially, I guess this, in my opinion, especially in America, is the less of, first off, the less of a desire to want to join a type of organization, and I suppose, I think people think of more negatives to joining organizations, and I'll have an example of this after. Does that make us a more selfish human being, or does that make us a more free human being? And as an example, when a long time ago, right? I mean, let's just say 50, 100 years ago, Boy Scouts used to be this super popular thing. I used to be a Boy Scout. I ended up eagling out of it. I went all the way through, but it used to be a lot more popular than it is now. And to me, it seems like, for a lot of reasons, I'm sure for Boy Scouts, but in general, it seems like people aren't as interested in trying to join like organizations and become part of a whole, but rather they want to be in their individual person and kind of go through their life like that. And so I guess the question that I ask is, does that go too far, and does that make people selfish, or is that a good thing, or does that make people more free? And do you understand?
I do, yeah. Good explanation. W explanation, bro. W explanation.
Stop! Oh my God!
All right, that's enough of that. Wow, I take it back, bro. I take it back.
You started it.
Forget everything I said.
You started it.
Let me think. So, that's interesting. I think, just like everything else, it does go too far, because I see a lot. I see this a lot in like the wokeism space, where it's like pride. Like me, I'm great, I'm amazing.
Me first.
Yeah, exactly. I am heavily, had nothing to do with, this is in the woke space. I have nothing to do with woke, but I am heavily against that, towards like me.
Right.
Everything about that, I think that's pretty net negative. But I do think that this push for individualism, where are you seeing it? That's an interesting take.
I think
you're seeing a push for more individual over.
I'll start. I don't think that I haven't really seen too much of a big change throughout my life. I think as I see more historical concepts, I feel like it happens more often in America. I think people want to be their own individual. They want to be unique. But I guess I see it over time. I mean, for example, less and less people per year want to join the military. And I think that's part of it, less and less people want to join Boy Scouts, and people want to be their own person. I feel like that's sort of almost incentivized in today's culture.
I see what you're saying.
And I guess the question for me is, does that make people selfish, right? Does that put them first? Does that have them take away their view on like trying for the common good rather than them? Like I don't know if people go for the common good as much anymore. I think they're more me first.
I think it creates weaker men.
Yeah.
I think the lack of community and the push just to me creates a type of person that I would consider very weak and very not powerful.
How so?
Usually when I see these people who are like the pride everything, me, we'll call it the me movement.
Right.
Basically, which I actually think that's a pretty good name for it.
The me.
The me movement.
I like it.
Basically, they like everything is okay. You know what I mean? Like I am perfect the way I am. I don't need to change. I am great.
I'm a 10 out of 10.
And I think exactly. And I think when you have a community of people, especially in the Boy Scout space, well, I can't speak for the Boy Scouts, but I would imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like they check you and they challenge you when and especially in the military, they will check you and challenge you when you were doing something that is to the community standards not correct. So what's interesting about communities is they have their own standards. You have your own standards for yourself, but if the community standards are higher, which they often are from yourself, then it pushes you to be better, because there's something to be said for if everybody else around you is striving to achieve a goal and you are the one person who's not striving to achieve a goal, you will either crumble under the pressure or rise up above it. And I think that just comes down to the type of person you are. And so I think and for that reason, I think it's creating weaker men, which creates tougher times, and then tough times create strong men. And strong men create good times. You've heard the quote, I'm sure.
I love that.
I love it as well. That was a big reframe for me whenever I heard it.
What time do you think we're in now?
I think we're in the transition from strong men to weak men creating harder times right now. But I think because we're in easier times, and so people are getting mad and upset about and crying about their hair getting cut. Like, you've seen the TikToks of like, I'm going to cry because I'm getting my hair cut. I think that's completely insane.
Right.
I think that is going way too far. I don't, have context on the individual. It could be something to do with just them. I don't know, but I think if that's our baseline for what's acceptable, we need to increase the baseline.
I always wonder, and this is a little bit different, but I always wonder that if like our brain, because that's like the worst thing in their life so far.
Exactly.
They have it feels the same as something that like losing an arm 100 years ago. Like they have the same or very similar emotions, and that's interesting.
I think about that a lot. I think that's true to a degree. I just am careful because I've never felt my arm getting chopped off. You know what I mean? So I'm careful to say, but I think that is true to a degree, and I think that's scary, and I think that's very scary. And so that is the result of the easy times that we're in, like 50 years ago. 60.
I think my parents' generation was probably good times, and those good times are turning into weak men, which is going to turn into hard times.
Most of our grandparents were in the military.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that as a result of the war, the two world wars that happened like cohesively, and then after World War II, we'll say after like the Cold War, peacetime started to kind of fizzle out. Over like a pretty long time horizon.
We were clear number one.
Yeah, exactly. And then now that we're in the 2000s and late 1900s, peacetime, easy times, and now people need problems, right? Like fundamentally, like I think it's fundamental that we need problems to solve.
Yeah.
They're creating very non-problem problems.
Yeah. Like
your hair getting cut. And so weak men, right? Which will come back to bite us 100% at some point.
How long do you think that America... some people might actually say it's already happened, but how long do you think that America is going to stay number one for? Some people say that China's already passed us.
Interesting. That's interesting. So that kind of gets into the... that's a good question, of which I'm not capable of answering.
Right. We just don't know. I think
it gets into how would you define number one? Like, is America really number one? I think that what America has to offer is great, which is the freedom and capitalism fundamentally, like the ability to make your own money, stuff like that. I think that it's great, and I love it. I wish the world could be like America. But
careful what you wish for.
Yeah, but there are problems, and I don't know. I'm worried about our leadership right now because I was a big. I've always been iffy on the leadership, on both sides. It isn't just the Republican leadership. I feel like it's scary to me how when it is a.
Feels like neither of the parties are on our side.
Yeah,
I feel like, or at least we're not their common. That's not their goal.
It's a testament to the times to go to see Trump post on Twitter Canada with an American flag over it. That's scary to me. It's also scary to see, the most recent conversation that was had between Trump and the president of
Zelensky, Ukraine.
That guy. Yep. Was the president of Ukraine? It was and then that's a very scary conversation as well. I think that could have been handled a lot better. I think that's it was just like a power grab. Yeah. It wasn't let's come to a consensus. It's let me show you why the United States is on top. And maybe that mindset is how the United States got on top. You know what I mean? And in a way it was. But I don't know. I'm just scared about where we're heading right now. I don't
Right.
know. I couldn't give you a projection of how long America's going to stay, but I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Are we up financially? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like that's a good question. Like number one in what,
Yeah.
right? But I haven't seen the Trump Zelensky thing much. I don't really know much about it, to be honest with you. Do you even know why they met?
He wanted to make a deal with the president. That was the thesis of the meeting, and I think Trump ended up concluding that Zelensky wasn't in the place to receive significant aid from America or more than they've already given. Like they weren't ready for a deal.
Yeah, I've heard different things from every single person.
I've heard that from Trump himself. He said that.
Right. Yeah.
But
I'm not surprised. That's what he
but
said.
I don't know whether he meant that or anything. But that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch the clip before I say anything. To be honest with you,
I do as well. This is
Like not the clip, the whole thing.
Politics is iffy because, like, I'll be the first one to tell you I have zero interest, and so I don't make a point to do much about it. This is just what I know, and I try to be what most people should be, which is like, I think the term is like logical stewards or something of the tone, which is just like question everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like just like use your own bases for understanding the way the world works, and I think a big thing in politics right now is faith-based beliefs.
Yeah.
Not even just on, I think, faith in the truest definition of the word, which is like the belief in the uncertain, belief in the unknown, belief in the unmeasurable, basically. Like people will say, I root for Trump. Why? Right, and this isn't like I'm probably more Trump leaning than I'm not, but like people will be asked, I'm Trump supporting, and they'll go, why? And they'll go, well, I'm just a Trump supporter. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's Trump. You know, it's Trump or nothing.
Just what I chose.
And it's just
yeah.
like, it's they've predetermined their belief, and then they make the data align with the conclusion, and sometimes they don't even do that. Sometimes they don't. They just believe what they want to believe.
Right.
I think we see that in religion. I think we see that in everything,
Mm-hmm.
but especially politics, and that actually honestly really annoys me.
That's what I have the hardest time on, and that's sort of what keeps me away from wanting to go in and learn as much as I can about it, is because I know for however much research I do, I feel like I still won't know the full story. You know what I mean? And that frustrates me. I feel like I still won't know all the information, like why did this person do this? Why did this person do this? And in politics. And it's the same way with religion, honestly. But I guess in a different scope with religion, you know, I think those two are different.
Religion's
But
interesting.
I can't have that faith. I'm like you said, I want to question everything. And if you're not going to give me all the information, then it'd be very difficult for me to just believe in you.
I tend to be a very faith adverse person, which is like once the data stops, I stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so the problem with that is that how do you get the right data for politics?
You don't even know what's
exactly because I don't know. I don't know whether it's a money thing or it annoys me on both sides.
And it goes down past that to the point where even if you're reading news, you don't know what their agenda is. You don't even know if it's not even like it's just information. There's incentives, and that's actually what my dad always taught me, and that's. I think about that always. It's just what's their incentive, right? What are they actually going for? What do they really want?
Usually it's money.
In doing this, right? And that normally leads you to the simplest answer of why they're doing it.
It sucks, bro. It really does, because fundamentally I think it's either a money thing or a power thing or a little bit of both, with a little bit of goodwill sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think these are terrible people we're working with. You know what I mean? I think they have good hearts, good intentions. Sometimes, for the most part, maybe I like to believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. It truly is challenging to find like unbiased sources, and also just like even if the source is unbiased, where did they get their information from? It's really hard.
Right. I'm a big proponent, a big supporter of transparency, and I feel like we don't have that locked.
None of it, yeah.
No.
They literally said that the dealings, like President Trump and Zelensky, like dealings, J.D. Vance literally said, these are going to be done behind closed doors, and then we'll let the American people know, which is standard. Like, that's not harm to him at all. Like, that's you're going to do debates in private. But a part of me, when I heard that, like, why not debate about it in pub? Why not do this in front of the American people for everybody to see? Probably because there's things that they can't say in front of the American people.
I think that's exactly what it is, to be honest.
And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe blissful ignorance, which is what I'm in right now, fundamentally is better. You know, maybe aliens exist and they're trying to kill us all in America. You know what I mean? But the reality is I don't think that's the case. I'd prefer transparency, and they don't do that because they know they don't have to. Because what are we gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing. So
I hate that. Yeah, I was big on that.
Yeah.
Just transparency in general, not even past political. I mean, I used to do a lot of research into like pharmaceuticals and that transparency, and that's just like the rest of the world. You just they don't give you any information at all, and I hate it so much.
I think
frustrating.
part of the problem is, and I see this with religion more than anything else ever, is they will look at the data and they will listen to the data until as it affirms their beliefs, and then they will stop once the data affirms their beliefs, and they will not continue looking into the data. They will just stop once it affirms the belief, and so they have a little bit of a foundation in facts and measurables, which is like, I believe this because of this. But then when you actually look what this is, there's 10 other layers, which just, you know what I mean? And so it's really hard. You have to go straight to the source. And the problem is, in religion, we kind of have the source. But we have definitely more than politics, right? With religion, there's a lot more transparency than with, like, you can get to the roots of religion, you can't get to the roots of politics.
Right.
At least I can't.
And so, yeah. I mean, at least the faith and religion is a bit more grounded, right? Nah, I don't know.
Like
I take that. No, that's wrong. I take that back officially. Yeah. Take it from the record. Scrub the record.
All right. We got a transcriber over there. Just cut it out.
Yeah.
Susan.
Yeah.
That's enough.
That's hilarious. You know, we were talking about this on the last podcast, but do you think you're ever going to go off caffeine? Because I feel like every podcast we have a conversation about caffeine. We're always talking about your usage. Do you ever see in your life? Do you see yourself doing it?
Yeah,
or
probably.
Or just drinking for the rest of your life.
Dude, I'm such a weird, people have alcohol. I just have a ghost energy drink problem. I don't know which one's worse. Probably alcohol.
I don't know.
I'll probably have caffeine in some sort for the rest of my life, but I'm definitely too high right now on the caffeine front.
Oh, yeah.
I need a taper. I will.
I mean, I don't want to tell you
I haven't had
to
too many today. I've only had 270 milligrams today.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
just one energy drink.
I started taking pre-workout. It's like 320 per scoop. It's insane to me.
That's crazy. I mean, that's wild. It's gotten to the point
that's where it got your nose tingling.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where I'll drink that and I'll just sit in bed and be like, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And so it's scary.
Man, that is kind of scary. Your tolerance to it is
but oh well. I'm alright with it right now. I just got a taper because it's a health thing with energy drinks, and then also your heart on a long time horizon gets messed up with caffeine. And I've been doing it for a while. So I need to
At what point?
I need to cut it, bro. We were talking about this on the last podcast, like life longevity, like being able to do things when you're 40, 50.
Mm-hmm.
Now's the time to
should focus on that.
Time, but...
I mean, I do. Just
on what?
I focus on it, but at the same time, I don't. I think about doing things. I think about hitting the gym, and then I don't hit the gym. That's
Whatever. Probably something not ideal, but I do think that I have, like every other 20-year-old, a lot going on, right? Apparently, so I hear. I don't even know the definition of work. Apparently, so I hear, which is crazy to me, but I guess that's true. Like, a lot of people who are older than me are like, you don't, like, I've heard this point blank, like, you don't even know what work is. You don't know the definition of work. And I'm like, shoot, bro. Because they're probably
don't
right.
Say that.
Don't say that, bro. But, so right now I think I'm focused. Mm-hmm. I just don't, I need to focus harder.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm full focused, but I also feel like there's stuff that I can do better. So.
Yeah, it's a perfectionist thing too, like doing everything, because it's like you want to hit the gym, you want to work on this, you want to work on schoolwork. It's a lot, but I decided to do this, and so I just kind of need to get over everything and just do it, or don't. Like, either way, the outcome's still the same.
Man, it really is tough, like accepting where you're at. Just at my age, at least, I have a lot of struggles with that. I have trouble, like I just don't feel like I'm doing everything that I can do day to day, or I feel like at this point I could be doing more. Mm-hmm. I think about that not every once in a while, probably like once a day that thought pops up, And I don't know. That's just a problem I have. Is
I think everybody.
right.
I think that's across the board. Like I feel like I could be doing more.
I feel like it started getting a lot harder after high school when you started going to college. After you're sort of on your own, you're like, oh crap, I really need to shape up or get out. You know,
Lock in, bro.
Literally.
I hear that a lot from everybody, bro.
What, lock in?
I gotta lock in.
Lock in,
Been
bro,
saying that
lock
since
in.
day one of freshman year. Still haven't locked in.
Yeah.
I could name a couple names right now, but
That's
I won't.
true.
I won't do it.
Oh yeah.
It's been on top of mind for me though, of like yeah, I don't know, systems and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation so many times. I probably don't need to repeat it, but you know, I think that I still struggle with that, and the way I'm solving it, which who knows, because I still struggle with it, but is that like if I've completed the systems, then I've done my duty and I can rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always respected that, like very highly of you.
Thank you.
Is the fact that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Especially at this age. You
It's
seem young.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, and then it gets into like, are your systems enough? But also, who cares? Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
You're gonna. I don't know, bro. I'd be thinking existentially recently, and I think I have no place to think existentially right now. I think I gotta wait 10 years, but I'm in right now. I'm in like a slump of like, dude, we're gonna die and nothing's gonna matter, and I'm gonna crumble in just 6 feet under, and I'm just not gonna exist anymore. So why do anything? Like, these are the thoughts that go through my head, and I don't know, bro, because I don't have a good answer. Like, literally, I hope that in 10 years I can look back and have a good answer for this. But right now, hear me, audience. Right now, with where I'm trying to like figure out my worldview and stuff, I'm just gonna live my life and cancel out zero, and nothing's gonna matter, and I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna be in a grave, and I'm just gonna sit there for the rest of my life, and it's gonna be like it was before when I wasn't born, because I've been dead before, and I'm just gonna, you know, not exist, and none of it's gonna matter. So why do anything? And I haven't figured out that why yet, and that is hard, bro.
Yeah, I always walk out of that. Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry. I always walk out of that with either thinking, I never want to work again. Work is wasting my life, or I need to work 24/7 and do something with my life.
Yeah.
Like it's only one or the other for me.
No, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
either of the opportunity. I'm exactly the same way. But if you guys have a good answer to that why question, like, if nothing matters, why try? Then I would love some help, because I'm struggling with that right now. Actually, throw that question over to you, brother.
Okay. I watched a podcast with Joe Rogan and Brian
Changed my
Cox.
life, bro.
Right.
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, do you know who he is?
Yes, the astrophysicist.
Absolutely.
Love that guy, dude.
And he had talked about the fact that because we're alive, we have purpose, and without life, this is sort of a purposeless universe. And so I feel like the fact that I have a life gives me enough purpose to keep on living, I suppose. And so even if nothing matters on this earth, the fact that I didn't kill myself or kill the human race, right, is enough for me. And I'm serious, bro. Like thinking when I get thoughts like that, you know, the normal answers aren't going to be enough. Like, oh, but what about your kids? You know, what about your family?
They're going to
die
too.
Right. Like that's not an acceptable answer to some of these existential questions. And so you kind of have to think past the earthly desires, the earthly materials, you know.
Yeah, I kind of think of it as, how I've been thinking about it, which hasn't been working. So
Right.
But if this helps you guys, it might help you guys. But it's like, you can think of humans as like a flower you're giving your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, if you gave your girlfriend a real life flower versus a cardboard flower, which one would she appreciate more?
Real life.
The real life one, because she knows it's gonna die and it's fleeting and it's living. You know what I mean? And humans are a lot like that. Like, if every other planet's this cardboard and Earth is this flower, the fact that it dies, that it will be gone eventually, gives it inherent value and inherent worth, and it should be cherished. And it's like, the chances that we were here, and this is like part 2, like the chances that we were here on this earth right now are so astronomically low. We're incredibly lucky to be on this earth much less in the families that we were in America, in a position like this where we can literally do. I'll speak for myself. Like I can literally do whatever I want for a career, almost anything. Like with the exception of like a couple of things. Like I can choose almost anything I want to do and work hard and do it. You know what I mean? Like I have infinite opportunity, and it's all the result of nothing to do with me and everything to do with luck.
I'm
Am I really
curious.
going to waste this opportunity? You know what I mean? Like I have a small window of opportunity. Well, then I go to wasting, and I'm like, well, does it really matter because I'm going to die? See,
Right.
I try to...
Seriously, it's this whole cycle.
I don't know, bro. What was your question?
Yeah, that actually that leads me. I mean, to me, that seems like okay. That the point of that is, this life is important because you're not going to have life forever because it's only at this moment,
Sure,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And that always leads me to the question about religion, which you may not be able to answer. Is you in some religions, it seems like you do live on past your human life, right? And so, why should this life matter if I'm going to live forever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
And,
I think
mean,
that's the same token. I mean,
like why do anything if I'm just gonna I'm not gonna die, you know?
yeah, I
I'm
think
gonna live forever.
I think first of all, I think most religious people don't think about it that far.
Interesting.
And like if you pose the question to them, they'll just go, "Well, that's ridiculous." You know what I mean? They just won't think about it. Like, well, that's kind of stupid.
I
Well, that's
see.
a little bit ridiculous. Why would I? No, like, you know, but I think the actual answer from a religious perspective would be God created this universe, and so therefore it has value, and therefore it has meaning, and therefore I should do my best while I'm here.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? But it is a question of like, why don't I just commit suicide if I'm just going to be with God? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But it's an interesting from a religious perspective. I think that the answer that I just gave is the answer, but
Interesting. You know, that kind of honestly is a juxtaposition, like an opposite of what I was saying earlier about Brian Cox, right? I mean, what I'm understanding is the fact that God created this universe alone gives it inherent meaning, right? As the universe.
Sure.
But to see my view is that without life, without anything, there is no meaning. There's just matter, right? And so without us humans to make meaning, there is no meaning in the universe. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting because it seems like when God makes something it inherently has meaning.
yeah, because God
right?
made it. Yeah, that.
But it doesn't that doesn't make sense to my view. I mean that doesn't make sense to me. I guess
Yeah, I mean I agree with you honestly. I was just saying what a religious person.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the
I'm curious
Christian
because
religious
you
perspective.
definitely know more about religion
Like
than
we
me.
say,
So
yeah.
you
I mean,
normally
for
answer my questions.
context, I went to like a Christian high school. I spent like 6 years debating with religion, arguing, Christianity. I was like, okay, am I going to be Christian? Am I not? And I spent, from like ninth, I probably really started in 10th to like last summer is when I eventually pulled away from the faith. I was like, okay, I'm not a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. And I mean that's a whole thing. Like that's a whole podcast right there. I'd love to talk about it.
I'm down for that for a podcast.
We should dedicate a whole podcast to just talking about Christianity. Yeah. And I would love to hear your view because fundamentally I want to be a Christian and I try to have as many conversations with as many Christians as I can in hopes that the Holy Spirit will, awaken or whatever and try to gain as much data as I can to come to a conclusion. But as I said, I am a faith-adverse person, and Christianity is fundamentally a faith. And the definition I gave of faith earlier was actually from the Bible, Hebrews 11:1,
Really?
where it says something along the lines of faith is the assurance of things unknown and the conviction of things unseen, right? And so that's fundamentally what Christianity is. It's a faith in Jesus. And I
see.
I think when it comes to worldview, Christians and non-Christians are just playing two different games. Mm-hmm. One is playing a faith game and one is playing a where does the data lead me game. And honestly, I don't know which one's better. Christianity is probably better because they have peace and they have subjective well-being on average is probably higher. Like Christianity is probably the better worldview, like however you would define better. I just struggle to make the leap of faith. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's me thing, I don't know, but at least right now I'm content with my understanding of the Bible, my understanding of the historicity of Jesus, and my understanding of the historicity of the Bible as a whole, that, yeah, Jesus probably wasn't actually resurrected on the cross. Christianity probably is not true. Now, is that not to say that the Bible isn't super wise and has a ton of value and insights, and in some areas is genius? No, absolutely not. I can name a couple places in the Bible that are particularly genius. I think Ecclesiastes is a book is very interesting. That's actually talking about like kind of what we're talking about, like nihilism as a whole. We can get into that. And then Matthew 5, 6, and 7, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, I think is also genius. Just genius, right? Is it supernaturally genius? No, but it's still genius. Hebrews is good. Romans 12 is really good, just like how to be a good person. Like I could go on, but yeah. So when I came to that conclusion, now like if there is no God, then fundamentally nothing matters. You know what I mean? And so it's like you fall into a nihilistic perspective very easily. And so right now I'm trying to wrestle with like, if I'm gonna die, what now? Like why try? You know what I mean? And I want to try. Maybe that's the why. I just want to. You know what I mean? I just want to. And so I'm trying to wrestle with that right now.
Yeah. I think, I forget exactly who said this, but they said a rational man would believe in God because he has everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to somebody about this who was a Christian. It's like, if I'm wrong, I'm screwed. But if he's wrong, nothing matters because we all go to the same place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nothing. Like, it's the better worldview. Like I wish I could be a Christian, and I spent like 6 years trying to become one. I wish I could wish, someday I hope to be, Well, I don't know, maybe that's not true, but because there's Old Testament problems, but I hope to understand more, and then maybe it's my lack of understanding.
Did you say Old Testament problems? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have problems with the Old Testament, or it has problems, period?
It has problems, period.
Interesting.
There's a lot, and I honestly, I don't even want to hit on this too
If you want,
heavily.
we can save it. I'm totally down for that religious podcast.
I want to save this for a whole podcast, but I'll hit on this quick. It's just like the morality of God, the reliability of Genesis, the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible. Did that actually occur? The academic consensus is a hard no. The Moses probably did not actually exist. Abraham probably did not actually exist, right? And so the Christian's argument to that would be, okay, these are allegorical, meaning these probably didn't actually happen, but they just showed God's power. And that brings up a lot of questions in and of itself. It's a whole thing. We'll get into it. We will. I'd love to for a whole podcast, but right now, we'll let it sit. The thesis of what I was saying was that not a Christian anymore. If I ever was, I don't know. So nothing matters.
Yeah. No, I would love to have a podcast on this. I feel like I have so many questions.
Yeah,
I could just sit and just type questions for
we'll
forever,
hit it. Maybe
man.
in the next one. Yeah, we'll hit it.
Let's do it.
What episode is this? 14?
I think
15?
the last one was 14.
15, maybe 16 will be a religion episode.
Yeah.
Where we talk about Christianity, our views, and then by all means, put stuff in the comments, bro, because I just want to learn, bro.
Yeah.
I hope there's something that I haven't learned that'll change my life and that will just open my heart to Jesus.
We don't speak about these things because we feel like we've mastered them. We speak about them in hopes of learning more.
We haven't mastered a thing in our lives. We don't have one good, like we're 20 and not 20, 19, almost 20. You know what I mean? Like we don't know anything. And so we're just trying to learn.
Right.
Please teach us.
Yeah, this is a weird age because it's past the point as a teenager where you feel like you know everything, but it's before you actually know anything. So it's just like you don't know anything, and you don't know anything.
Like
so it just feels bad.
The Dunning-Kruger effect. We talked about this. Like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a loop, and so it's like by age like 40, you start to actually learn stuff, and by like age like 70, 80, you start to truly like understand the world. But the problem is you understand a world that doesn't even exist anymore because it's so far out of time. At least that's what that's not the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect is just the more you know, the more you don't know. But I kind of added that extra part.
Damn. I didn't know. That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Spending your whole life learning about a world that changed.
Yeah. And so why does it matter? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
But we're here. I don't know. I mean, you do what you can.
Right.
And sometimes you do less, and sometimes you do more.
Life is crazy, man.
I know. I love it, though. Like, that's the thing, bro. I'd be saying all this stuff. I still love life.
Yeah.
Like, life is amazing.
I love life.
Me too.
I'd never kill myself. I always say this to my friends. Like, if somebody ever tries to tell you that I killed myself, investigate, because there's 0% chance.
Before. Yeah,
oh, really?
What?
I probably did.
Yeah, you said it.
I must have.
It was in my, yeah. You definitely did, though. This is so funny.
Mhm.
Well, actually, it's serious. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I'm
zero
not
way.
joking
There's zero way,
because
bro.
there's not a chance.
0% chance, bro.
Especially because of the fact that I know that there's not going to be anything after this. So,
Yeah.
right? So why would I leave?
That's where I'm landing as
To
well.
me, that's what makes this important, is because I won't have anything after this.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's completely, like, I agree. I'm falling into that worldview myself. I'm still, like, I won't even necessarily consider myself an agnostic. I'm just, like, undecided, which I
Yeah.
guess is kind of what an agnostic is. Like,
That's what I thought that was.
yeah, well, I think it.
I thought atheist
what I would
was
consider, so atheism, which by the
against
way
it.
I would consider also as far-fetched as the world, also as much of a leap as Christianity, but we'll get into that on another podcast. But atheism, what was I gonna say? What the heck was I gonna say? It just left my brain.
Agnosticism versus atheism.
It literally
Oh,
just
sure.
that's never happened before.
That's
bro.
crazy.
It just exited.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hold the
So,
phone.
I mean, what's the difference? I mean, agnostic is
Okay.
the fact that you don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
and
Okay,
then
okay.
go
So
ahead.
I was under the impression that agnosticism was accepting the fact that what I would consider agnosticism, which is kind of where I'm leaning right now, is, or, yeah. So the data lead to I don't know, which is I don't have enough data to come to a conclusion. We do not know how we got here. We don't know. We don't know we don't know what happens after we die. We don't. We don't know what happens. We don't know how we got here, and we don't know where we're going. We just don't know. We don't have enough data to come to a conclusion. And so, accepting the fact that we don't know, I think, is what agnosticism is. I think being undecided is, like, is Christianity true? Is atheism true? Is agnosticism true, right? But I think where I'm leaning is where the data and what we can measure is leaning, which is we just can't measure enough. Like, the science hasn't gotten there yet. Like, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. Actually, it's really humbling. Like, I'm just a small little pebble that doesn't know anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's really. I think about this too. It's sad to me that I don't think that we're gonna figure out how this universe was created in our lifetimes.
Me neither.
And that's really sad, dude.
Really?
I wish once in my life I can know how this universe was created. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
I want to know the answer to the universe. I want to know I want to figure out all the unexplained, and that's kind of what drives scientists as well. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they're trying to figure out the unexplained, and I would love to know it. And it's just sad to me that I just don't think I'm ever gonna figure it out.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. I never got sad about it. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like life's biggest question. Why are we here?
Yeah. I mean, religion as a whole, like most religions answer three fundamental questions, which are how did we get here, what happens when we die, and what do we do in the meantime. Like, that's every religion basically answers those three questions, because those are the three questions that all humans have. Like
Period.
What did we have? Like,
Right.
literally, like what is life?
Right.
Bro?
Right.
And
why are we here?
a part of me is like, I don't know. I feel like I feel like if I were to talk to like a Robert Greene about this, they'd just
Who's
tell
that?
me. Robert Greene is an author. He's written a lot of books. 45 Laws of Power.
Or 48 Laws of Power?
48
Yeah.
Laws of Power.
Yeah.
He wrote that, and
Okay.
and he wrote a lot of other books too. He's a pretty intelligent guy. I've learned a lot from him.
Yep.
I feel like he would tell me, like, you're just so young, just don't think about this, just go, just do things and explore the world and figure it out as you go.
Right.
And honestly, that might be the answer. You know what I mean?
It's the right answer, but it also doesn't satisfy the present me. You know,
Yeah.
even if you can promise
just-
that if I do all this, I'll
yeah.
figure it out in the future, that still doesn't like quell the present
I don't
me.
know how to go unless, like, I didn't, like, I don't know. Like, the first question was Christianity for me. Like, I don't know how to go if I don't know what I'm going towards. And then I decided that Christianity was a no, but then I'm still, like, I don't know where to go if nothing matters. You know what I mean? And so either I decide that things do matter, but then how does that make sense? Or, like, I don't know. I don't know. I need to answer that why. I
Yeah.
feel like if nothing matters, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe there is no answer, and maybe
I think that's where my sadness comes in, is because the fact that we're just not going to be able to answer that while we're here.
you don't think we're gonna. Like, on an individual level, I feel like we could.
Yeah, I think individually I could become content
not
with where I'm
like
at.
objective truth. Like, no,
Right.
But like subjectively per person,
Yeah.
like, purpose is basically what I'm looking for. Like, why do I want to live my life? You know what I mean? Like, what am I here for? Right now, I'm at, like, if nothing matters, so I'm just gonna die. why am I doing any of this? You know what I mean? And I think I think I'm going to be able to answer that question and move forward. But I don't think like objective meaning like the answers to the universe. We're not going to. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And nor do I think we should. Like
Really?
I don't know. I think
You don't think we should?
like I think the only objective. I don't know. I'm young, and so I try not to say statements like this, but I'm going to. I think that the only objective truth in this world is that there is no objective truth, and truth is extremely subjective. It is how you look at the world, how you view the world. It is right if it nets you a positive, and it is wrong if it nets you a negative, right? And I think that's the end of it. Like, I don't think there is objective reality. I don't think there's objective truth.
Right. I mean,
Everything's a game.
there's no lies without consciousness, right? I mean, without us, there's no.
Sure.
Like, so I guess on the flip side, truth also comes with consciousness.
Yeah, like there's
That's what you
factual
mean.
statements like 2 + 2 = 4,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to like how you want to live your life, that's extremely subjective, and I don't think there's a right way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Truth and lie and purpose, it's all something that comes with consciousness.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Interesting.
But I try not to say statements like that because I don't know anything. But
Right,
I think
because in a year I could probably just flip my
probably,
flip my
yeah. I
opinion.
hope so. Like in a year, my version of myself a year ago was a freaking idiot. Like I look at that guy and cringe.
Mhm.
I hope to do the same thing in a year,
Yeah.
in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I hope I can look at this podcast and go, wow, that guy was stupid. Or maybe I do know the secrets to the universe. No.
I think it's a good thing because if you think you're just as smart, then you probably haven't grown much.
Exactly.
If you don't think you're
exactly.
stupid looking at your past, then you probably haven't grown as much as you thought you did.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how I think about it.
that's a good frame. Like, have I grown? Well, do you think your past
right.
self was stupid?
Then you probably have grown. Yeah.
It's a pretty good mindset.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
Man, dude, I love this conversation, bro. I could
Yeah.
go on and on, but I definitely want to hit a religion podcast. That might be the next one. I would want to prepare for that one a little bit, just like get my quotations ready, because most of it's in my head, just like specific quotations, and then I think you should prepare as well.
Yeah.
And we'll just hit on it.
I'd love
for
that.
the whole podcast.
Mm-hmm. But straying away from religion, but staying on the purposeness thing. I don't think about this often because I know it's not good to think about, but I do sort of envy people who
Blissful ignorance.
either was pushed or found something that gives them true life purpose very early in their life. You know what I mean? Like
the Mr. Beast YouTube.
Mm-hmm, or like professional athletes or people who just found something at the very start of their life and they just stuck through it their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of envy that because there's nothing that's denying that in their mind. Like their mind is full, just like, okay, this is what I'm meant here. This is what I'm put on this earth here to do. This is what I want to do. And man, that must feel so enlightening. I mean, that must feel great. I think I definitely feel more comfortable, and just people in general feel more comfortable when they've chosen one side or the other, and they get to defend it and attack it. And so the fact that people get to choose their path and they're still stuck on it, I'm envious a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. Just how early they started.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It'd be cool if, like, maybe I'm sure eventually in my life, or maybe I won't. I'll find some hobby where I'm like, you know what, I could do this. I really enjoy doing this.
Oh, okay.
It would be cool if I would have found that earlier in my life. I guess
Oh, sure.
It's not good to think about. It's not healthy because you can't
yeah.
change your past and you
Correct.
can't change your childhood.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I'll
Just like a
think
thought
back.
experiment,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like, what if
I'm
I stuck
you.
with the same sport all my life, and I was just a pro at it now, instead of switching through different sports throughout my life?
That's interesting. Why have I don't know. For me, it's just kind of been not being a failure, bro. Like, that's my, like, I don't know. That's kind of been it. Like, even if just, like, with school, like, when I don't know. That's kind of been the thesis.
Right.
I don't know, man. I guess
But even my definition of failure changes throughout the years.
Me too. It ups.
When I was 15, I would probably think of myself not as a failure, but man, you could probably do more. But as I get older, I've also more accepted of where I'm at. I feel better where I'm at now than I would have at 15.
Yeah, my version of failure just keeps, like, increasing.
Really?
Like, my 8th grade version of myself would be blown away. My, like, 12th grade version of myself would be in some ways disappointed and in some ways overjoyed. And so I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's just, like, which medium. But, like, when I think about, like in 9th grade, all I wanted to do was not fail my classes. Like, I failed all my classes in middle school. Like, that was my goal.
Right.
And right now, that is not even like I have moved the ball so much that failure does not even remotely concern that. It concerns other stuff. Like failure is like not sticking to my work hours, not doing XYZ. But like I would never even be able to touch this without first going through the I don't want to fail in my classes.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And so it's just like running from failure. At least for me, I don't know. Like failure just keeps moving. Which subjective well-being is just the same, man. And so it's like it's not a good mindset to have. Nah, maybe that's not true. I kind of like it. I think it performs well. And Yeah, I kind of like it.
It gets you to do the things you need to do, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what
For the most part.
everybody needs to find their thing like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really found my one thing.
That's interesting, though.
I will say. No, I won't say. Keep going.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say that's interesting that I'm actually going through the opposite. My, like, bar for failure has gotten lower as I've learned my own limitations, I suppose. As when I was, high school, like teenager age, I would be given a job and I would say, okay, you know what, I can do this in 2 hours. I can do it perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, it's a lot more realistic. It's like, give me 6 hours, I can get this done probably.
I will say,
Mm-hmm.
that's to me is just more like and you know this, I'm the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just more delusional, like not understanding the education behind it, like not being educated on what it actually takes to do X, Y, Z. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a little bit different.
That's fair.
At least for me.
That's a fair take.
But yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, dude, freaking, I was the exact same way, and honestly, it annoys me. That's how I was a year ago, dude. A year ago. Bro.
A year?
I was like,
yeah.
Like maybe like a year and some change, but like, I was kind of old, like 19, like
Right.
18, 19, like that's a little embarrassing.
Mm.
Like in 12th grade, I was, bragging's a strong, like talking, disproportionately about the work that I was doing compared to the work that was actually being done. You know what I mean? And
Me too.
now we talked about this in the last podcast. Now I just cut all the work talk. Like I don't talk about it.
It almost feels easier to get it done sometimes. I like
It is too.
I
I
like
actually have a
keeping
theory
it
on that.
internal for the most part until it's almost pretty much done.
I have a theory on that actually.
I don't like telling people what I'm planning when it's still early in the works because then they'll just keep asking about it and then I have pressure to. I don't want outward pressure. Just let me handle it. You know. I don't want to tell them about it. If it fails because of me, and they don't even have to. I guess know that it failed. You know. Now, maybe that's actually a part of it. Fear of having other people see you fail.
Sometimes I do tell other people what I'm going to do because Alex Ramosi said this, like you're okay with seeing you fail, but you're not okay with other people seeing you fail. And so for me, I really resonated with that. And so sometimes I tell other people what I'm doing, like on a very surface level, like I'm not like I'm just saying I'm going to do X, Y, Z by this time. And it gives me more motivation to do it because I don't want to disappoint that X person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with what Hormozy says. Shoot, I mean.
Oh, I always agree with that, Alex Hormozy.
I'm more scared of failing other people than I am failing myself.
Yeah, like me too. Like I'm okay with seeing myself fail. I'm okay with sitting in my room watching TikTok all day doing nothing, but I would not want to say that in front of a group of friends.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want them to see me fail, but I'm okay with me. Like I'm obviously okay with me failing because I don't do the thing.
That's real, dude. That's super relatable.
That really hit me whenever you said it.
It's weird because like I really do feel fine watching TikTok. Like I'm okay
Literally,
with it, bro.
And that's crazy.
I'm okay with it. It's a good day for me. It's just, like
I got a lot done.
You know what I mean? Like
literally.
Like, not a good day as in like the amount of work you got done or what other people think, but a good day is in I had fun today. Like I enjoyed today. You know what I mean? It's seriously like that. That sucks, dude.
Literally.
That sucks. That must be what drugs are like.
Is that what heroin's like?
Yeah, to a greater extent. I mean, you're never ever gonna get to that again, you know.
Yeah.
And that's probably the exact problem with TikTok. Like the amount of fun you had, that's the whole problem, bro. You had too much fun, and now the other things you do aren't gonna be as fun. And that just messes up your whole baseline.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was talking about, or the theory that it was like, what I found was when I talk exorbitantly, is that a word?
Exuberant?
Exuberantly, like extrally,
okay.
A lot. When I talk a lot about what I'm going to do, it's kind of like a dopamine high. And then when it actually comes to do the thing, there's a significant decrease in dopamine, and so now I have this like stopgap of okay, this is what it could be versus what it is, And so then, like, I'm very not motivated to do the thing. Versus if you never talk about it and you just accept the fact that, okay, this is going to be a lot of work and it's going to suck. This is going to suck. This is going to suck. Everything's terrible. I literally want to die. This is going to suck. And then when it actually comes to do it, you realize it's actually not as bad as you think. And so there's a positive, I get delta, I guess the term, it like, there's a positive delta versus a negative delta between the dopamine that you get. And so at least for me, it's really helpful when I know that I have to do something hard or like work, like study tonight or anything. Leading up to it, this is going to suck literally. I don't want to tell anybody about this. I'm going to sit here. I don't want to do anything. And then when it actually comes to do the thing, it's not that bad. Like it's a positive delta versus a negative delta. That's what's helped me a lot.
I see. So if you have to do the thing, thinking about it as something that, thinking about it with worse expectations than what it normally is going to be is better.
Subvert.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's freaking amazing. Is the only caveat is you have to be disciplined thinking like that. I mean, you can't have those thoughts prevent you from doing the thing. It's got to be something you're going to do anyways.
Yeah.
I know you got that.
Oh, completely. Yeah, mm-hmm. And I've fallen into that as well. But it's like when you talk to other people about the things you're going to do, it gives you such a dopamine high that the delta is so just like crazy. But when you don't talk to anybody and you just talk to yourself, like...
You still have to do it.
This is going to suck. Because you're real with yourself. Like, you know it's going to suck. You're not going to try to impress yourself. Like, I don't care about my own opinion. I care about everybody else's opinion. You know what I mean? And so I'm real with myself. Like, this is going to suck. I don't really want to do this. This is going to be awful. And then when you actually go to do it, it's actually not that bad. Mm. And you're happy when it's over. It's fine. You know what I mean? At least for me.
Yeah.
That's what helped me.
The podcasts are very, very interesting. I like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of like the internals of doing the podcast. Like, this is a lot of fun to me. Just getting here and sitting. Like, I like the setup of it. I like the planning out. I like making topics. It's a little bit fun for me, just thinking of fun stuff. Like, I'll get to talk to Alexander about this crazy thing.
Yeah.
Or like now it's like when I see some news, I saw the Majorana 1 chip, and I was just, this is going to be the best podcast topic. Quantum computing, we're going to talk about this. I enjoy the making of the podcasts.
Yeah, me too. I enjoy the filmmaking part of it. Like, starting to do YouTube. YouTube is a strong word, but starting to like make YouTube videos, I really enjoy like the filmmaking aspect, like the technical, like the editing and the like behind the camera and like the juxtaposition between like the behind the camera and the front of the camera kind of thing and like what to actually do. I don't know, like we got a whole setup here. We got lights, we got table,
professional.
We got the freaking iPads here and laptops that we didn't used to have. That just really excites me.
I like seeing the progress. I will admit, though, it is so hard to predict how it's going to go beforehand. I've noticed that my expectations are often not what ends up happening. What do you mean? Like, for example, I'll have podcast topics, and I'll be like, this one we're probably going to spend like 10, 20, 30 minutes on. This is a great topic.
40 minutes.
And then this one is I'll just say something quick about it, and then we talk about that one for the whole time. You know what I mean? It's just,
I agree.
My expectation is just completely off.
Me too.
It's just off, and so I kind of just have to come in with it's just complete open mind. These are topics I want to talk about. No matter how it happens, it happens. I agree. I like that.
Me too.
I think it makes it natural too.
Me too. Yeah. Let us know how natural we are. I feel like we're pretty natural. So just let us know in the comments. Give us.
As long as we got things to talk about, we're natural.
I'm saying, bro. Oh my goodness. We got to go to Applebee's more. Get more Applebee's stories, bro.
Applebee's. I'm hungry,
dude. Actually, you know how people have like sexual awakenings? I had an Applebee's awakening, bro. I had a sexual awakening to Applebee's.
Crazy analogy. Crazy analogy.
When we went to Applebee's, I hadn't gone in so many years, bro. I literally have not stopped going. Every time anybody ever wants to say you want to go out to eat, I'm like, bro, let me tell you a spot. Applebee's. And it's cheap. It's sit down. The waiters are always chill.
And you know what? Yeah,
they are. I mean, I was joking, but I'm serious. Like, they are. Freaking, it's cheap. The food is actually really good.
It's cheap.
It's cheap. I don't know. I don't notice a huge difference between like quality of food. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I just don't. Like, like really nice steak versus like subpar steak. I don't notice a huge difference. Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
I could definitely notice. Like, it's
I
just like
noticed
the
it.
waters, man. It's just like the waters. I could have, two steaks next to each other. I think I could pick the right one.
Oh, I mean, I could too, but like, I don't know. It doesn't like it fills me up the same, bro.
I see. Okay.
It fills me
Well,
the
I
same.
see what you mean. Like, you get a similar
Yeah, like
result from
Applebee's
both of them.
steak, bro, medium rare.
Medium rare.
Yeah,
Didn't you get medium well last time?
I got medium rare with you.
Oh, did you?
And
How
then
was it?
I never get a steak with anybody because they just want to order nachos, bro.
Yeah.
And then that's it. No meal. But it was you were there. What do you mean?
I could have. I thought I got depressed because you did medium well, and we were
Depressed.
arguing about that.
She
Yeah.
went to a depression. No, I got medium well the first time, and the second time I got rare, and it was great.
Really? That's what you're getting at?
That's why I wasn't talking half the time because I was like
yeah.
chewing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I took my first bite.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how different speed we are at eating. Like, what is
Dude,
is that
it's
genetic
insane.
or is that?
Do y'all experience this too with your friends, where it's like one is the fastest eater in the entire world, and the other person like hasn't even like looked at their food,
I'm still talking.
isn't
yeah.
even back from the bathroom yet,
Right.
and he's already done.
It was
You know what I
one
mean?
time. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Is that something that's genetic or does
I
that,
don't
does
know,
that happen
bro,
through your
because
life?
I literally it's been my whole it's been a struggle my whole life.
I mean, it happened at least before we met. Cause
No, it's been my whole life.
Oh, okay.
People are like, you're a fast eater, and I don't know why,
Really?
because I just eat at normal pace. To me,
It's just like walking.
and then next thing I know, the plate's empty, and I look everybody up.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
Seriously fast pace.
You guys haven't even gotten your food yet. they're still passing out the food, and I'm already done.
You know, maybe it's normal because you've always been fast. So it's normal for you.
It is. Yeah, I mean that's
You think you're eating
Right.
normal pace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
Man.
normal pace. Is everybody else's slow pace? No.
No,
Fast pace.
yeah.
Fast pace.
Right. Insanely fast pace.
hmm I don't know.
Um,
I don't know.
yeah.
I can tell you.
I think I used to eat faster, bro. I just be talking
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get distracted, and then all of a sudden,
yeah.
because like you're not talking back, but then I don't realize you have food in your mouth, so I'll just keep talking, you know.
Yeah, medium rare steak's tough for conversations. If you're on a date, so that's interesting. If you're on a date, it's strategic to order medium well so you can talk more. But if you order medium
stigma.
well,
There's a stigma.
no second date. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, it's so non-issue that it's kind of a conversation topic. So
Yeah,
low-key.
I mean, I would probably.
Like she'll go medium well. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying.
You know
Like
what I mean? And
she
then
did the same
bam.
thing I did to you.
Literally.
Yeah, that's funny. But then, you don't have to talk all the time.
Ooh, well, I
Yeah,
don't know,
it's
bro.
not
It
the-
depends how good the date's going. You know what I mean? By
Facts.
when appetizers are going, it's like, do I want to still talk to this person?
I don't even be talking that much, like on dates. I just let them talk, kind of.
Really?
I
You just
mean-
ask questions and go. I do the same
Like,
thing.
yeah. I mean, I talk a little bit, but that's pretty much it. They don't even notice though.
Nobody does, dude.
No.
Even like in normal conversations, like whenever I don't like, if I don't want to talk to somebody, if I just like keep asking questions, like Dale Carnegie style, just go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I want to. So we're at time, but I want to hit on this one topic real
Yeah.
quick because it blew my mind when I saw it. I've been staring at it. We did a podcast before this, and I've been staring at it this whole time. I want to hit on it real quick.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so funny when I first started. Imagine the guy who discovered milk. And then imagine the guy who he got to drink it, bro. Imagine going up to a guy and going, dude, I have this great thing. Look at it. Look at this. And then imagine the guy who drank it, the first guy to drink it. Like, how does that even happen?
He saw the calf drink it, and he's just,
That's what I'm saying. He's like,
I have a mouth. I'm hungry.
like that is literally like, I mean,
and
revolutionary.
I'm sure it was so sour too, unpasteurized.
Oh my goodness, dude. Probably got salmonella.
Salmonella from milk. Can you?
Can you?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like dairy poisoning. Is that a thing?
It's got to be a thing, bro. Lactose intolerant.
I love natural human curiosity. That's one of my favorite aspects of being a human is our natural curiosity.
Bro, I don't
It's just
know.
the way we get into dumb stuff.
Yeah. Like,
But
it
passes.
How did I end up here, bro?
Right.
How
It's
did I get-
I mean, there was a case just like 2 weeks ago where somebody injected like a full butterfly, like they ground up a butterfly, they injected it into that thing, and you know what? Those are the the pushers of science. Okay,
Whoa.
those people push the science
They
field.
they blended a butterfly and then injected it into themselves.
And they put it in their vein. They injected it, and they died 5 days later. Of
Oh,
course.
actually, they
yeah,
died?
Of course. Yeah, of course. And they
Oh.
injected a butterfly. That's
Well,
toxic.
is it really?
Yeah, I think there's parts of butterflies that are toxic. But I think that those types of people advance human science.
Well, now we
wouldn't know.
Now
Yeah,
we know.
wouldn't know. What if it gave us powers?
Imagine that. I mean, like, nobody else is dying like that. Like, that's a way to go. You know what I mean?
Dude, imagine dying and figuring out that you're the second person to do it.
Oh, no. Oh, I'd be so upset, bro. I'd come back to life just to, like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Beat him up.
Oh my god. You all ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching the aowhodis podcast. Before we leave, do you have anything else to say?
No.
All right. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Let us know in the comments if you guys have any topics you want us to cover. And that's all.
Actually, before we, this was a seriouser episode, so let us know how y'all thought about it. I actually loved it, so let us know.
Yep. Bye. Yeah, buddy.
Sure, bro. That was probably my favorite one we've ever done.
Really? I liked the one right before this one.
Oh, really?
The
That was
first
a
one
good
we did
too.
today, yeah. Oh, that was good. All right.
So having the podcast, the topics in front of us, and going back to back,
So much better.
It's a game changer.
So much better.
Being
Holy
like
crap.
being face to face too. I think we do this for the rest of like ever.
Yeah. See why they do it now.